You know that feeling, maybe not you personally, but that sudden jolt some people get near spiders or looking down from heights.
Yeah, that real visceral reaction.
Exactly. So have you ever felt something like that, maybe an overwhelming fear, not just near a huge fire, but even looking at, say, a birthday candle?
That's actually right where we're heading today. We're doing a deep dive into pyrophobia,
Pyrophobia.
which is much more than just being sensible about fire. It's a really persistent, excessive fear.
Okay. Yeah, we've looked into some material that explores this, trying to get a handle on what makes it tick, maybe where it comes from and how people deal with it. So what really separates pyrophobia from just, normal caution?
That is the crucial question, isn't it? Being careful around fire, oh, that's just smart. It's survival.
Right.
But pyrophobia, it can seem irrational from the outside. It triggers this big stress response even when there's no real danger.
Hmm.
And what's fascinating, maybe, is this fear could be ancient, like tied to when humans first encountered fire.
Wow. Like deep in our history.
Could be. And, animals, they avoid big fires, obviously.
Sure.
But we don't really call that pyrophobia because they don't grasp fire's purpose, its uses, like we do.
Okay, got it. So it's this really profound fear. Feels way out of proportion to the actual risk sometimes. What does that actually look like for someone? What are the symptoms?
Well, when someone with pyrophobia comes across fire or even smoke, or sometimes just the thought of fire.
Just the thought.
Yeah, the body can just go into overdrive. We're talking acute anxiety, heart racing, feeling like you can't breathe properly, chest tightness.
That sounds awful.
It is. And physically, you might get sweating, nausea, shaking, dry mouth, needing the bathroom a lot, feeling dizzy. Fainting is even possible. It's intense.
Incredibly distressing.
Yeah.
And it's not just the immediate panic, is it? I imagine it bleeds into everyday life.
Oh, absolutely. People often go to great lengths to avoid anything involving fire.
Well, like what?
Well, skipping barbecues, avoiding campfires, maybe not even wanting lit candles in the house.
Right.
The impact varies, For some, it's just an inconvenience, but for others, it can be really disruptive, seriously affects their life.
So we have a picture of what it is, what it feels like, but why? What causes it? I mean, fire is dangerous. We all know that. Where does caution tip over into phobia?
You're right. There's a logical reason to fear fire. It's a genuine threat.
Yeah.
But with pyrophobia, that caution just gets amplified massively. They can't tolerate even small, controlled fires. Often, this intense fear traces back to a bad experience.
Ah, okay.
Especially experiences in childhood, those seem to be common triggers. Like a strong negative association gets locked in.
That makes total sense. A
Right.
scary fire incident when you're young could definitely stick with you. So if someone's dealing with this, what can be done? Are there ways to manage it?
Yeah, definitely. There are effective approaches. Exposure therapy is probably the most common.
Exposure therapy, how does that work?
The idea is to gradually and very safely reintroduce the person to fire. You might start really small, maybe just a lit cigarette or a match at a distance. Then slowly, carefully, you might move towards bigger things, like a stove burner or a barbecue grill.
Gently increasing the exposure.
Exactly. The goal is to help calm that intense fear response when faced with controlled fire. Show the brain it's okay in this context.
That sounds like it requires real bravery for the person going through it.
Yeah.
Are there other options besides facing the fire directly, so to
If
speak?
there are, support groups can be really beneficial.
Ah, talking to others.
Yeah, connecting with people who actually understand what you're experiencing can make a huge difference. Hypnosis is another route some people try.
Interesting. What about medication?
Medication might be considered sometimes maybe for the anxiety symptoms, but it's often not the first choice because, well, side effects can be an issue. Therapy is usually preferred.
Right. Okay. Different tools for different situations. Now, something else that came up was pyromania. That sounds kind of the opposite.
It is, exactly. Pyromania is totally different. It's an impulse control disorder, meaning people with pyromania feel this strong, repetitive urge to deliberately set fires. They're often fascinated by fire, not terrified of it.
So, yeah, literally the polar opposite of the fear and avoidance in pyrophobia.
Precisely.
Okay, so let's just recap quickly. Pyrophobia isn't just being careful, it's a major fear.
Right. With real physical and psychological effects.
Often stemming from past experiences, especially in childhood.
But importantly, there are treatments. Exposure therapy, support groups, other therapy.
All is available.
Definitely. It shows how even these deep-seated fears can be understood and managed.
And that leads to a final thought, something really interesting to chew on.
Yeah.
When you think about how absolute fundamental fire has been to human civilization, warmth, cooking, light, industry,
It's
everything.
foundational.
Totally. So what does it tell us about ourselves, about our relationship with progress maybe, and also with danger,
Yeah.
that some of us develop this intense, overwhelming fear of the very thing that helped build our world?
That is a fascinating question. That tension between creation and destruction, safety and risk, all wrapped up in our relationship with fire.
Definitely something to think about.